Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Green Podcast brought to you by Youth for Green Hydrogen. My name is Mahir Gupta. I'm chair of the Green Podcast, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the latest developments and news in the public and private sectors of green hydrogen. And well, before you scroll away, let me tell you why you should even bother listening. Then you can decide whether you want in or not. Okay, deal? Great. So, why bother listening? Well, green hydrogen is the hot topic of the world right now, and it is going to be all over the place once the work picks up speed. You could be working in this sector, you could be investing in this sector, and you could be driving green hydrogen cars made in this sector. Green hydrogen might just be on its way to directly affecting and changing your life for the better. And knowing about this revolution before everyone else and getting that jump start could be exactly what you're looking for. Nonetheless, a green fuel that changes the world and helps massively in the fight against the climate crisis is sure worth knowing about, wouldn't you agree? So, now that you're still listening, I'll assume it's because you want to know more. So without further ado, let's get right to it. We'll break this down into three sections: the public sector, the private sector, and non-governmental organizations or NGOs. It's going to be a great episode. So strap in, it's time to begin. To talk about the latest news and developments in the public sector of green hydrogen, we have with us Mr. Avik Sappal, an intern at Youth for Green Hydrogen. Welcome back to the show, Avik. How are you?
Hi Mahir, it's always a pleasure to be here. So let me get to your question now. The green hydrogen public sector. It's a huge place, Mahir, and it's going to be a bigger mammoth as the years go by. Why, you ask? Look at these headlines and developments all over the place. So many projects and initiatives have come up all over the world, and new ones are continuously popping up. Governments have started to invest in it, and private companies have made such amazing projects as well. I read about the Indian government launching a plan to make India the green hydrogen hub of the world by 2050. In the last year's union budget, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also proposed launching the hydrogen energy mission for generating hydrogen from green power sources. Also, the UK just unveiled a 15 billion plan to use 4 gigawatts of offshore wind for renewable hydrogen production in the early 2030s. Then, in Spain, the commercial production of green hydrogen has already started at its first industrial renewable hydrogen plant, which will produce a mind-blowing 330 tons of green hydrogen per year. Then we have Germany, which aims to up its game with plans of opening 20 more research labs, with a total budget of 110 million being unveiled over the summer. Then the country of Oman also planning to build one of the largest green hydrogen power plants to turn the oil-producing nation into a leader in renewable technology. Other than this, many other private companies are also investing in the idea of green hydrogen. Reliance has announced a plan to invest rupees 75,000 crore over the next few years to build a clean energy business aimed at the company's goal to become climate neutral by 2035. Finally, an engineering company, Larsen & Toubro, has already tied up with other companies to work and innovate in the green hydrogen technology sector.
That is so interesting. The public sector is indeed all over green hydrogen. And Avik, private companies aren't going to miss out on this either. Let me tell you about that. So, Reliance announced a plan to invest 75,000 crores over the next few years to build a clean energy business, including green hydrogen technology, aimed at the company's goal to become climate neutral by 2035. And then an engineering company, Larsen & Toubro, has already tied up with other companies to work and innovate in the green hydrogen technology sector. Also, the cars Toyota Mirai and Hyundai Nexo are both green hydrogen cars made by private companies. Again, great contributions to making the world a greener place. So yes, private companies aren't holding back either.
That is indeed some great stuff. I really didn't know green hydrogen was that popular. This is really an eye-opener.
It really is. And now that we've talked about the public and private sectors, why leave out the NGOs who are doing fantastic work to promote green hydrogen all over the world? And for that reason, I'd like to invite Mr. Sailesh Singhal, founder of Youth for Green Hydrogen, which is an NGO working to promote the use of green hydrogen all over the world. He was recently named the Youth Champion by the United Nations for his amazing work in this field. Welcome, Mr. Sailesh. Please enlighten us on what work Youth for Green Hydrogen does and how this has become a global movement.
Thank you, Mahir and Avik, for having me here. I am super excited and happy to be here with both of you who have been driving this green podcast on the on Youth for Green Hydrogen. Thank you once again. Um, yes, Mahir, we started this movement back from India in Siliguri from in the month of March, where three people came together with this belief that intergenerational partnerships and leaderships is important in contributing to the green hydrogen. And while we started this, we realized that we are the first youth movement in the world to drive efforts to contribute towards green hydrogen. Extremely supported by the Green Hydrogen Organization. In the Green Hydrogen Assembly, young people came from different countries together in developing the Youth Declaration amidst the world leaders, which also got adopted. And this Youth Declaration became the world's first Youth Declaration on green hydrogen, which focused on advocacy, awareness, in creation of a global task force and a global innovation fund that would help in localizing the green hydrogen and also to make green hydrogen accessible for all. And while we started this as a small movement, it gives me an immense sense of satisfaction to share that in the past 120 days, this movement from one city in India have traveled and mobilized across 70 countries. Young people from different parts of the world are coming together in taking the co-ownership and leadership in driving the Youth for Green Hydrogen. And that is possible only because of the fact that young people are now ready, are responsible to lead the world, to create the world which is sustainable, which is friendly, which is nature friendly, and which has a space for all. I think with this, it is very instrumental that uh, public enterprises, governmental institutions, private bodies, and civil society organizations like Green Hydrogen Organization and others come up in taking up the leadership in providing the instrumental support to young people who can get green skills which can then be applied for the green jobs in the future, for the green future that we all are ready to welcome with our folded hands. I think it also becomes very instrumental for countries like India, like Africa, to strengthen and localize the consumption of green hydrogen that will lead to net zero emissions and contribute to the world that also now United Nations have adopted as one of the universal human rights and accessibility for a cleaner and a greener environment.
Wow, that is incredible. Thank you so much for that insight, Mr. Sailesh. It was amazing. I'd now like to invite Miss Mariana Respreto to share her thoughts on the impact of youth leadership in green hydrogen in the next 10 years. Please enlighten our listeners, Mariana.
I believe believe youth leadership is crucial for the global energetical transition with green hydrogen. This transition can only be achieved if we create incentives to increase both supply and demand of green hydrogen. Therefore, the youth has a crucial role as we are the generators of demand and supply in the near future. In a couple of years, we will be the CEOs of the world's biggest producers of green hydrogen, the leaders in the world's most important governments deciding how to produce our country's energy, the owners of the world's biggest transportation companies fueled 100% with green hydrogen, or the households who consume clean energy. Therefore, raising awareness about the importance of green hydrogen for a greener and brighter future is the basis of a successful transition towards clean energies.
That was fantastic. Green hydrogen is indeed one of the best fuels out there for the climate and for the future world. And to change the world for the better, the work is indeed important and completely worth it. Thank you, Mr. Sprito. So, we've discussed a lot today, but one question is still left unanswered, and that is, why even do this work in the green hydrogen sector? Why is it important? So, to answer this, let's have Mr. Kirill talk about just that. Welcome, Mr. Kirill. Enlighten us.
If we don't slow down emitting greenhouse gases, the climate change will be inevitable and irreversible by 2030, according to the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. But what does it mean for our planet, the animals that live on it, and ultimately us? The global average temperatures will increase, bringing fatal consequences such as widespread animal extinction, extreme heat, and hunger. Currently, one of the biggest pollutants in the world is the transportation sector, being responsible for about 11% of all greenhouse gases emitted. While we can't stop moving goods and people around, we can make the freight process greener. That's why work in the green hydrogen sector is vital for saving our planet. Hydrogen cell vehicles, from long-haul trucks to cargo ships, will be the future of transportation. We need to focus our resources on research and development of green hydrogen to bring the cost of its production down. As a part of the Youth for Green Hydrogen movement, I encourage my peers to consider working in this rapidly developing sector so together we can save our planet.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Kirill. And with that, we come to the end of this episode on the latest news and developments in the green hydrogen sector. We learned about the work being done in the sector. The sectors include public, private, and non-governmental organization sectors, along with the importance of doing this work. I hope this was a valuable and insightful podcast for all of you. Thank you all for joining in, and we hope this helped you gain another perspective on how the world is going to change with green hydrogen. If you haven't checked out our previous 2 episodes on what green hydrogen is and the event we held on green hydrogen on this Environment Day, I really recommend you do. Because if you don't, you, my friend, are missing out. Thank you once again for being a part of the Green Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.